So in today's video, I want to talk about custom shop guitars and whether they're worth all of the hype, whether they're a waste of money, and just my experiences in owning and playing a bunch of really nice guitars and a bunch of really affordable guitars, and just share some thoughts. So a while ago, I went to a shop, and they are a Fender custom shop showcase dealer, which means that they have a lot of custom shop Fender guitars available for sale. And I went in to try some of them out because I've always had in the back of my head, like maybe, when my wife and I have our 10th anniversary or something, maybe there's a special something in there, or I don't know, 30th birthday, whatever it may be. If I feel a little crazy and splurge a bit. And I went in, and the trouble that I find a lot with custom shop guitars, just with me personally, is that my tastes are an irritating blend of modern and vintage. For example, I like bridges. I like a lot of modern kind of stuff down here. I like a vintagey neck profile, but I want a flat radius. Like the 9.5 radius that Fender uses is actually smaller than I would like it to be. I'd like it to be flatter, but I can kind of tolerate it and get on with it. But anyways, I went into the shop because I saw that online they had a guitar that kind of fit the bill. It was I think they called it a 52 no-caster, and it was this weird thing where it had vintage pickups, which is great for me. I want vintage pickups with modern kind of electronics and circuitry kind of stuff. It had the vintage tuners, which I love. I'm currently waiting on a parts caster build that will have split shaft tuners. I love those tuners. I think they look awesome. I think they hold tune great. I think locking tuners are a bit of a scam, but that's a topic for another video. And it had the neck profile I like. The string spacing was the vintage one, which I'm not the world's biggest fan of, but it looked like everything on that guitar should have been great. And I went with my wife. And I sat down, I'm playing it, going through, and my wife asked me, she was like, what do you think of it? Is it nice? And I was like, it's a great guitar. And she was like, would you ever want to buy something like this? And I went, I actually kind of wish I was playing my player Telecaster instead. So that was the kind of blew this thing for me. I think this guitar was about 5,200 Canadian dollars. I cannot do that US conversion in my head, but it's probably upper threes, low fours. And it didn't, again, it was objectively an amazing guitar. And if you have a ton of money to kind of pour into these things, by all means, buy the nicest thing you can. I have a couple students who say that they don't feel worthy of their gear, and I don't think that's a thing. You should buy and play whatever you like and whatever you can afford. You should buy the nicest thing that you can afford and that you love. And that's all the justification you need to do it. But I was playing this guitar, and again, it should have ticked a lot of boxes for me. The setup was great, it sounded great, but while I was playing it, I was like, this is maybe less inspiring than the one that I have. And to be fair, I haven't played that guitar for hundreds and thousands of hours. I probably haven't played. I got this guy relatively recently. I have not put thousands of hours into this, I don't think, but I know how this responds, and so that would make it maybe better than the other one. But when I was playing it, I was actually shocked because again, if you haven't seen my video that I made when I got this guitar, this is the cheapest guitar. Well, now actually they have the standard series, which a lot of people hate on. I've played those. They're actually pretty nice guitars. I think they are expensive for what you can get. If you can get away with not having Fender on the headstock and not be heartbroken about it, it's fine. But I think that the Fender standard line is an okay priced guitar for what it is. But this was the cheapest guitar that you could get with the Fender name on the headstock. It's made in Mexico. It's nothing special. It has the 6-saddle bridge that some people hate, some people love. I personally don't really care what bridge is on it, as long as it intonates well. It has relatively cheap, just Alnico 5 pickups, but I was playing this really expensive guitar that I should have loved. And again, I did, if money was no object, I would have 4 of them, because why not? But I wasn't blown away by it. I don't think you need to spend, especially in this day and age, so much of guitar production is done on CNC machines. The difference, I always tell this to students, sometimes they get curious about the Telecaster and ask me questions about it. I don't think you need to spend a bunch of money to get an absolutely amazing guitar. The biggest difference between a bunch of the Mexican stuff and the American stuff is just simple little hardware fixes. Like this is actually maybe truer to the original Telecaster than, say, the like Fender Ultra or whatever they are now. So really, it doesn't necessarily get better, but it does get more expensive. And if there's particular things that you want and can't live without, that's fine. If you want noiseless pickups, yeah, you got to spend more money on certain things to get those. If you want a certain neck profile, maybe you have to spend a bit of extra money or do. I think Fender has a mod shop. It's not available in Canada, but you can kind of build a custom guitar made from production parts, basically, I think is how it works. So you don't get like the master builder, but you get to kind of mix and match from different series. And that's a cool thing that, you know, you can do if you want. Or you can go the parts caster route and build it yourself. But the moral of the story, again, is just that I was playing this really expensive guitar that by all metrics I should have absolutely loved. And it just wasn't, it didn't feel inherently more musical than the one that I have. Now, maybe I got lucky, and I actually have two of this guitar because I liked it so much. I have two player Telecasters. This one's a 2021. This is 2022. This one's a 2021, which was Fender's, I believe, 75th anniversary is why it says 75 on the back of it. But these guitars, to me, I've played them on gigs, I've used them on records, I have practiced for hours on them, I've really put them through the ringer, and I don't think there's anything that Telecaster that I tried, the custom shop, would do that is better than what one of these do. And I think it's this dangerous thing that we can get into as guitarists sometimes, thinking about, you know, what's better, or what's newer, or what's more expensive. And I don't think in today's day and age that more expensive equates to more better, because obviously if you want to buy the nicest thing you can afford, that's probably objectively a good way to go about it and a good thing to do. But in my experience playing that, it really kind of shattered some things for me, because wood is an imperfect resource. It's not perfectly repeatable. Every tree is going to be different. And again, that Fender Custom Shop was immaculate. Like, I believe the body was one piece, which is kind of nice if you care about it. This Tele's two pieces, the other one's three. Doesn't really make a difference at all to how they play or feel. Once you start spending money on a Mexican-made Fender, you don't get into Squires. Sometimes are particularly heavy. They are great guitars, especially for the money, but they are a little bit heavy. So is it a guitar that I would have for life, a Squire? Probably not. The Fenders, once you go to Mexico, they're just great guitars. And it, again, just really kind of blew up. I totally get wanting to have the brand name on the headstock. That was part of the allure of buying one of these, and I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't want my Telecaster to say Fender on it, rather than, getting like a Sire, Larry Carlton. Those are amazing guitars too. I think there is something to be said for having the genuine kind of article, but again, this guitar, new, now it's the Player 2. This is an original Player Series Tele. I think these guitars were going for about $899, so about 900 Canadian dollars. Now I think the new ones go for about 1,100. And the difference between that $1,100 guitar and because I've played the Player 2s as well. They are very nice, but they're more or less the same as the Player 1. They did make some things like they rolled the fretboard edges. I've never really found that to be a crazy upgrade. You can call me insane if you want, but would it be nice to have? Maybe, but this is the one that I have, and I don't feel like I need to shell out more money on a Player 2. But when you kind of go from what was actually there, and when I was playing them, I was playing it through a Fender Deluxe Reverb, which is an amp that I've owned before. I know what to dial in. I know how it responds. I know how Teles play. I know how they respond. I remember I was just playing the guitar, and I was like, I think I would genuinely rather be playing my Player Telecaster. So, all of this is just to say that I think it can be easy to get trapped into this view of wanting the new shiny thing or the better, more expensive thing. And in my experience, again, at that music store, I had my expectations absolutely destroyed because I thought it was going to be like this revelation, and I was going to go, what am I going to sell to be able to buy this now? And I walked away just being happy with what I had. So it's not necessarily the tools that make you a good guitarist. It's not necessarily that the best Fender, and again, like the best Fender builders, God bless them for making those custom shops and selling them for really expensive money, because it was an immaculate guitar. But in terms of what I need to write and play and do the music that I want to do, I don't need anything more than this. And again, I could do everything that I'm doing probably on a Squire and be happy with it. On gigs, my shoulders might be a little bit more sore from standing with one for 2 hours kind of thing. But yeah, I just wanted to share this story because I think a lot of people, especially online, and especially, we equate these things as being the more expensive the guitar is, the better it is. And we want to get rid of maybe the things that we have, and we have this aspirational, I want to upgrade kind of thing. And I just don't think it's necessarily true. So I'm curious to hear if you guys have any stories of playing some crazy custom shop or expensive instrument and being surprised at how little different you felt with it, versus, something that a real human being can afford, or a regular player, or a regular, just average Joe would spend on a guitar. Again, if you have the money to buy those great guitars, go for it. They're amazing. But let me know your experiences with this in the comments. I'm curious to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video and the rant, feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. It's free and it really helps me out more than you could know. If you're looking to take a guitar lesson with me, there's links to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you're looking for a way to support me and also join a wonderful little community of guitar lovers, you can check out my Patreon page down below. All of my patrons get early access to my videos, as well as behind the scenes sneak peeks, stuff that I don't share anywhere else. And if it's a lesson video, which if this is your first time seeing me, I have lots of lessons out there for anything you might be looking to do on the guitar. You get the free PDF downloads of the diagrams that I show in my videos. I also have an ebook, or two ebooks now, actually, 2 ebooks and 2 video courses for sale, which are also linked down below or on the product shelf. It's a great way to help support me in what I'm doing here on the channel, and also get some more in-depth educational content that I can go into in a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I'll wish you guys a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Be well. Let me know if you have any thoughts on this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.